Hey everybody, it's Justin with Sillage Scents. Here we are at the end of 2022, and so I wanted to do a brief video for you about my top 10 most complimented fragrances of the past year. Now, once we get into especially the top 5 or so, you're going to be seeing stuff that I've mentioned on the channel, maybe more than others, because these are ones that I've been into, that I like, and that other people seem to like. So I'm not necessarily going for the most dramatic variety here, but just honestly the ones that I've gotten compliments on, some of them consistently almost every time I wear them. So let's go ahead and get into it. These are the top 10, not necessarily in any order, but I did try to kind of stack up at least the final 5 in some kind of order. So here we go. The first one that I'll mention is this beauty. This is Laventure by Al Haramain. This is, of course, a clone of Aventus. I've got several different clones of Aventus in here. I could have probably put any of them in here, but this is one that I probably have worn more than the others, and this DNA just gets compliments like crazy. People love Aventus, and this one is a kind of fruitier, fresh, sweet take on Aventus, not real smoky, and people love it, and I have been complimented wearing this one for sure. The next one up, this is a fragrance that I've really just had for maybe a couple months, and it surprised me because this one people really like, even though it took a little while to grow on me. This is CH Men by Carolina Herrera. I think this fragrance is a good 15 years old or so. I think around that, or maybe it's 13 years old, something like that. But people still love it. This leathery, slightly sweet. It's got a sugar note, a vanilla note. It's got leather, saffron. It's got some cardamom, so a little spiciness. And this one, it's just a great leather fragrance, and people will notice you and compliment you. The downside is the performance is not great. This next one may be a surprise, but this has really been one of my most complimented fragrances. The caveat is this is a fragrance that I almost always layer with other fragrances, and this is Coach for Men. This is just the original Coach for Men. They're all pretty good. But this one is an Ambroxan heavy blue fragrance, and I will wear it with Sauvage, I'll wear it with YEDP, I'll wear it with Dylan Blue. I'll either sort of layer them together, or I'll wear one of those blue fragrances on one side, I'll wear Coach for Men on the other side. There's something awesome about, I think it's the Ambroxan, but something awesome about just the airy nature of this fragrance. It's kind of slightly peppery, it's a little citric in the opening, and then it's just got that awesome Ambroxan and that blue DNA. Not too much sweetness, not too much similarity to like Bleu de Chanel and Dylan Blue, which a lot of fragrances go in that vein. It is unique, but for some reason, when I pair Coach for Men with other blue fragrances, I have gotten compliments consistently over the past year. All right, this next one I'll mention is another one I haven't had for long, but considering how long I've had it, this one is a real compliment getter, and others have said the same, but this is Risasi Havas, or Havas. This one is the originator of the Invictus Aqua DNA. This one came out a little bit before Invictus Aqua, the 2016. And so it is that sort of bubblegum, aquatic Invictus Aqua fragrance. But this one is a little spicy. It's got a little bit of a Middle Eastern flair. So this is Risasi Havas. People really love this. It projects strong. It lasts a long time, probably a 10-hour fragrance. A great compliment getter. This next one is a classic. And this one, consistently, I've gotten compliments. Whenever I catch a whiff of this one out somewhere, I want to track somebody down and say, man, you smell amazing. This is, of course, Dolce & Gabbana, the One. This is the EDT. I've gone through 3 bottles of the One. I think 2 EDT and 1 EDP. And I can tell you, this fragrance, even the EDT, I get good performance out of the EDT. I know that some people say it only lasts 4 or 5 hours. This is an 8-hour fragrance for me, and I absolutely love it. You know, this was one of the first fragrances that I kind of fell in love with. This and the original Le Male and some of the Burberrys that came out back in the early 2000s. But this one, ever since it came out, has been a favorite of mine. My wife loves it, and this is one that I get complimented on when I wear it, and I've probably only worn it 6 or 7 times this year and gotten complimented, you know, several of those times that I wore it. I haven't kept track numbers wise, but more than once I've been complimented on this fragrance. All right, this next one is another one that is fairly new, and the reason it's in this video is because I've probably worn it about 5 times, and I've gotten compliments several of those 5 times that I've worn it, and this is Just Jack Noir Endurance. This is, of course, a clone of Tom Ford's Noir Extreme, a very good clone, and this is a sort of spicy, powdery, sweet fragrance. It's very unique. It's gourmand. It's got a note that's supposed to smell like the Middle Eastern dessert called kulfi. It's just a really unique, spicy, gourmand fragrance with a little bit of a powdery tone. This is a great fragrance. People like it and people notice it. I think I've gotten a couple compliments off of this. One, whenever somebody gave me a hug. Another one when somebody was just standing next to me. But this one is definitely a crowd pleaser. All right, next up, we've got one I've mentioned several times recently. This is another one that's a classic, but it's still a great compliment getter. This is the original Amen. And so this is a very complex fragrance. It's got, in the opening, you've got some spices, you've got kind of a licorice note, you've got some mint, you've got some lavender, but then in the mid and the base, you've got some kind of gourmand feel. You've got some vanillic notes with, I think, vanilla and benzoin. You've got a honey note, a milk note, a caramel note. You've got so much going on. And the thing that blows me away about the original Amen is if you sit with the list of notes, you can pick most of them out. It's one of the most complex fragrances I own that you can pick out individual notes like that. It's so well made. It's amazing, and people love it. And it projects like a beast, you know, for the first maybe 3 hours or so. It's not an incredibly long-lasting fragrance, but for those first several hours, it really creates a scent cloud around you that people are going to notice and like. All right, this next one, this has been a consistent compliment getter, and the more I've worn it, the more I have discovered the complexity of this fragrance. I initially thought this one, Mercedes-Benz Club Black, I thought it was just a very simple vanilla fragrance, but the more that I've worn it, the more I pick up on the slightly spicy incense note and the woods that are in this fragrance. You know, the vanilla is awesome, and it's kind of overpowering, covering up the other notes, but you know, you wear it 4, 5, 6 times and sit with it, and you start to get these nuances that are just mystical. Everyone in my family loves this one. I've got 2 sons who will come in and sneak sprays of it. And this is one that has gotten me noticed and gotten me compliments several times this year. Mercedes-Benz Club Black. The next 2 are just as obvious as could be, but if I'm honest about what has gotten me compliments the most this year, without question, it's been these 2 fragrances. I'll make them quick because these are no surprise. Number 2 would be Spice Bomb Extreme. This fragrance, almost every time I wear it, or maybe half of the time I wear it, someone will comment on it. And this thing lasts forever. It's, you know, easily a 12-hour fragrance. I think the most recent time I wore it was 2 days ago. I put it on in the morning, and I still smelled it the next morning when I woke up because I happened to not take a shower that night. This thing lasts forever. And I regularly get compliments. People love Spice Bomb Extreme. It projects for hours, probably longer than any fragrance I have. And this is vanilla, tobacco, cinnamon. It's got this wonderful, sweet, spicy, very powerful fragrance. It reminds me a lot of the holiday season. absolutely love that one. And this last one, again, is going to be no surprise. And there's a number of others that I could have put in here, but this one unquestionably is still the king of compliments. And if you have it, you already know this yourself. Just the original Sauvage EDT. I mean, this fragrance gets me compliments all the time. People love Sauvage. It's such an awesome fragrance. I've got a few different clones, and although some of them, like the Pride of Armagh, do a really good job, there really is a complexity to the original Sauvage. There is kind of the metallic, peppery, fresh opening, but underneath there's a lot of complexity. There's something even almost animalic in the heart of this fragrance. I still love Sauvage. I mean, I've been wearing it a lot over the past year, and I know people say that it's played out or everybody has it or whatever, but if you want compliments, you still can't beat Sauvage EDT. I think more than the EDP, definitely more than the Parfum, probably more than Elixir. I love the Elixir DNA, and I've gotten compliments on it as well, but you can't beat the original Sauvage EDT. So anyway, this is my list. Let me know in the comments section what have been your maybe top 3 or top 5 complimented fragrances. I look forward to hearing from you, and please subscribe. The channel is growing. I really appreciate it. As we continue to grow, I'm going to be doing some giveaways and things like that. Thank you so much for spending your time watching these videos and showing the support by liking and commenting and subscribing. And this has been Sillage Scents. I'm Justin, and I'll see you on the next one.